Hi everyone. Just going through my model figures, my armies, trying to rearrange and sort them out to create a bit more space. And I thought, as I'm in the middle of a lot of painting projects at the minute, and I'm not likely to have anything to show you for a couple of weeks at least, I don't really like putting up updates of half-painted figures, so although I'm busy painting at the moment, I'm not going to have anything really complete to show you. So, as I say, I was going through my old stuff, trying to sort things out, and I came across a few figures I thought you might be interested in looking at, and it's a way of keeping the wargaming content on my channel up without painting anything new. So these are Ziston figures, and I noticed these because there's been a lot of interest in Ziston on YouTube recently amongst the channels that I subscribe to, so I thought I'd show you these. Quite a few years ago now, I purchased two DBA armies from Ziston, the Athenians, which is what you're looking at the moment, and the Spartans. And I was playing a little bit of DBA at the War Games Club at the time, and really liked it as a kind of game system and as a convenient way of getting a couple of games in at the club in an afternoon, and we were having quite a good time playing tournaments and so on. So as I say, I purchased two armies. I did have some others that I already had, New Kingdom Egyptians and so on, that I was using, but I wanted to get some diversity into my collection, so I got hold of these and the Spartans, but I kind of painted these up, and they're really nice figures, I think, but somehow I lost a bit of steam. I don't know what it is. I don't know whether it's the fact that there isn't a great deal of diversity in the Greek armies or not. But yeah, I just sort of painted these, didn't complete them because there's a couple of, I think there's a pair of cavalry figures to go with the army as well, I never got round to, and didn't even touch the Spartans, but yeah, maybe now that there's a bit of interest being shown in this period again on YouTube, I might get back into it, I don't know. But anyway, there we are, that's my Athenian DBA army. I'll just show you them a little bit closer if I can get them to focus. You'll notice some of the transfers that I got from Little Big Man Studio. It's very difficult to position them centrally on the shields, whatever the manufacturer, simply because the shields often aren't completely symmetrical. So I wasn't terribly pleased with the result, but got the army done, ready to play with, and then I don't think I've ever played with it. So anyway, that's one army I thought you'd like to see, and I've got another one out as well, completely different period and everything, but I thought, yeah, they look pretty good, so I've just got to change things around a bit, and then I'll show you those. Right, now this is a 15mm Cossack army for the sort of Renaissance period. They're all from a company called, I think they're called Wargamer Poland. They're the company that produce By Fire and Sword, and they also have a large range of accompanying figures. I was really interested in By Fire and Sword when the rules first came out, because I always enjoyed that period, the period of Taras Bulba and so on. But the rules themselves are, it's a fantastic book, and there's been at least one supplement come out since, but you're really drawn into the period and the book, but the rules are just so difficult. I tried them out a couple of times at the club with another club member who purchased a Swedish army, and it never really kind of stuck with me. So I kind of gave up on it. But now I'm going through my armies and trying to sort them out. I mean, it occurs to me that I've got a fair number of figures here now, so this would do for another set of rules. So I might get around to painting an opposing army as well. But anyway, as there's so many here, I'm just going to take the camera off of the tripod and give you a little bit of a close-up with a handheld camera. Okay, so at the front here there's quite a lot of casualty figures that you require in the rules for By Fire and Sword, but casualty figures always come in handy if you can make the effort to paint them up, so I'm glad I've got these in my collection. And then there's a couple of skirmish stands behind them there, and it's so long since I played the rules I can't remember whether I've got these units organised in the right numbers and configuration, but I've got some pikemen there and there, and then some Cossack musketmen, got a few cannon, some more musketmen behind them there. That's the command stand, and a whole row of musketry behind them. I've got a couple of armoured wagons, I forget what their technical name is. They're quite handy for breaking up cavalry charges, and then a unit of cavalry at the back there. The figures themselves, they're interesting range. I think the metal is probably very poor quality. They snap and break easily. You have to be careful when you're handling them, and when you're trying to clean off excess metal and so on. But in terms of the actual quality of the sculpts, I think they're quite nice. There's a fair amount of detail on them. In fact, sometimes the detail is so tiny that you miss it. I can't give you an example really. I mean, I suppose, for example, the leader there is actually smoking a kind of long pipe, but you, at first glance, you wonder what it is he's doing, whether he's sort of blowing a trumpet or something like that. Yeah, but lots of little details on them. I think they're quite a nice army, and my wargaming kind of habits. It's like a ball going around in a roulette wheel. You never know where it's going to land. Because now I've got these out, I'm looking at them. I really want to paint some more, but I've really got to discipline myself and finish the things that I've got on my tabletop at the moment. So as I say, I'm kind of really busy painting lots of different things. In the main, the Crimean War, but a few other things as well. And I'm trying to make myself finish a thing before I go on to my next enthusiasm. But yeah, one day I'll I'll have a game of sort of Eastern Renaissance using these figures. They're based in a kind of way that's specific for the rules of by fire and sword. The figures come with pre-measured bases, which were a little bit odd. They don't kind of match most sort of rules that I'm familiar with. But I suppose as long as I base all my armies up according to this system, it won't matter. Anyway, just thought I'd show you those two armies as a sort of filler for an inevitable gap that's going to come up on my channel. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.